In this video, I want to take a look at using semantic tags or semantic elements in our HTML. We've looked at doing some styling and creating our HTML. And here I'm going to start with a basic skeleton. You might notice I've added in a link to a style sheet. So now when I create my HTML, the skeleton, I can already have this link to a style sheet in here, and I have it named styles.css again, so that this is just always part of my skeleton. And now I'm going to add some elements into this body so that we kind of have a starting point. So first I'm going to we'll add an h1. This is I'm going to make it just a heading with my name. And then I'm going to add a paragraph under here. Aaron is the instructor of this course. And then I'm going to, inside of this, I'll put an image tag. src equals this write a dot jpg that I've been using, and alt equals my name, and then close my tag. Remember that image tag is a self-closing tag. And then actually I'm gonna come back up here. I'm gonna use the H1 here. I'll change the other one in a minute. So CIS-130 intro to web development. Go ahead and put in a paragraph here. This class introduces students to web development. Then I'm going to change this to an H2. And then down here, I'm going to add another paragraph and use this at copy special character. Bull 2021. And now we have this set up. And we have different sections for this. And there's some things that we can do with our semantic elements that are going to help lay this out. Before semantic elements were available, what somebody would likely have done is use these div tags to divide the page. They're used as a divider. So then something like this. And then another div tag for this section. And then again another div tag for this last section. And doing that, let me get my indenting in here. We can have different structures for this. A lot of times these would be given an ID or a class depending on what they were for, so that you could style or at least identify what these different sections are. So class page header. And then down here, maybe I want all of this in another div. So div. And then I'll indent that so we can see. And then, let's see here. I'll add another div with another H2 because we're kind of at the same level there. So NKM-104, that's the room that we meet in. And then I'll put a paragraph in here that says NKM-104 is the classroom used when we meet in person. And I could keep this going on and on and on with divs inside of divs as much as I might need to get the structure to lay out. But now that we see we have these things separated, here's the page header. Maybe I want this to be class equals, body content. I want this one to be class equals, this section header. And here I'm going to add divs inside of this so that we have this structured out a little bit different. Whoops. So here, div, and I'll reduce this one. Let's see. Nope, that's not where I need that to end. Alright, so that div and that div, this div. Oh, and then I'm going to do the same thing down here. So that we have the body content. I have a class equals section header. This is also going to be a section header. That way I would be able to style it and then give this one a class equals section content. So down here I'm going to do the same. And then down here in this last one, this is going to be my footer, so I'm going to give it a class equals footer. And something like this is how you would divide up the page and break it into different pieces. And then you would style each of these classes a certain way so that it did what you were wanting it to do. So if I save this and then I load it up in the page, we have this as the way that page looks. And if I didn't have these divs in here, it would still look this way because of the way these elements that we've used work. But looking at semantic tags, there's a much better way to lay out a lot of these things. And instead of using div and giving it a class or an ID and having to do that every time, we can look at, here on W3 Schools again, the semantic elements. And this page goes into how a lot of these are used. We have the article, the aside, details, section, a summary, nav, mark, main. We'll look at using a few of those to restructure this page here.